I remember when Sputnik, the satellite that inaugurated the space age, was launched in October of 1957 from a base in the Kazakh Republic in the Soviet Union. All 22 inches, 184 pounds of it, hurtled around the Earth every 96 minutes, traveling at 18,000 miles per hour. Sputnik was visible to the naked eye after sunset, and my parents, mostly my father, wasted no time in introducing my brother and sister and me to the newest frontier. I remember the five of us standing on the front lawn in our suburban neighborhood, gazing upward at the stars pinpricking the nighttime October sky. Our across-the-street neighbors called out asking if anything had happened, a kitchen fire perhaps. I remember finally seeing a ball of light larger than the stars that moved quite rapidly, it seemed, across the horizon. I remember being so excited that I had seen a real satellite, but I also remember being taken aback at realizing how small I was and how vast the universe was. If I had been biblically literate, I would have whispered a couple of verses from Psalm 8. I look up at your macro skies, dark and enormous, your handmade sky jewelry, moon and stars mounted in their settings. Then I look at my micro self and wonder, why do you bother with us? Why take a second look our way? I remember that the first manned mission to the moon was in lunar orbit on Christmas Eve in 1968. In a live television broadcast, astronaut Jim Lovell commented, "The vast loneliness is awe-inspiring, and it makes you realize just what you have back there on Earth." The broadcast ended with the three-man crew reading from the biblical book of Genesis as pictures of Earth and moon flitted across our TV screen. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Once again, I felt that tension between my own smallness and the vastness of this universe, of which God or Spirit or something with a capital S was the source all those billions of years ago. A week or so ago, Joe and I took binoculars out into our field to look for the Comet Neowise. Astronomers discovered it on March 27th, and they calculate that it will not pass this way again for about 6,800 years. When Joe and I gazed heavenward to see if we could find it, it was about as close to Earth as it would come, 64.3 million miles away. We found it below the Big Dipper and close to the horizon. Dim to the naked eye, it appeared brighter with binoculars, and we saw that it sported a long and fine tail. Once again, the night seemed to whisper, and God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. God also made the stars. And the stars themselves, in their twinkling, they seem to ask the age-old biblical question, what is man that you are mindful of him? Why do you bother with us? Why take a second look our way? And yet again, I felt the tension. We humans are so small, and the universe that God created so vast. When I was little, I used to imagine myself as a dot on the earth that hurtled annually around the sun. I was a lonely and tiny speck on infinity itself. The smallness was overwhelming. Now, however, I concentrate more on the vastness of the universe, and in an odd sort of way, it gives me hope in these troubled times. We have made such a mess of this earth and the human race. Our appalling ignorance about climate change, our disregard for poverty, our fascination with weaponry and love for war, and now our inability to control this pandemic. And yet, we are so small, and the universe is so vast, just as is the God or Spirit or something with a capital S who created it. So vast in love, and in my spirituality at least, ultimately in charge and protective of us in spite of all we have chosen to become. God, brilliant Lord, your name echoes around the world. That's Psalm 8 again, and those words anchor my hope for us all. And so when I gaze at the zillions of stars twinkling and glittering above me in the Milky Way, when I see a comet arch across the heavens, I am filled not with loneliness and smallness, but with a vast hope, because there is someone, something bigger than me out there, whose name echoes around the world and who will someday bring meaning and purpose to whatever chaos humanity has managed to create.